Blessings to each and every one. Blessed love on this beautiful afternoon. And this topic here with this teacher, we entrust these people to educate our children, to protect them when they are in their care. And this situation keep happening over and over again. Because in the last year, I'm pretty sure I heard in the news where a teacher was caught red-handed with a student in Ocho Rios, and that time was a male student. It was a male student where the teacher was grooming him, take him out on a Saturday, and they got caught at a guest house somewhere in Ocho Rios. We didn't even hear nothing more about that story. Nothing more about that story. That story is just sweep under the rug. Nothing else is been said about it. I don't know if it's still in the courts or what's the situation with that, but that story just disappeared. These people that are entrusted with our children, they need to be punished, and punished severely. Not just a slap on the wrist, not just move them from one parish to another for them to go repeat the offense, but these people need to be punished severely. Make an example out of them. It's the same thing with the priests. Those so-called pastors, that you entrust them with your children, they groom these children, then they end up molesting them, and these children are ruined forever. And then they themselves becomes pedophile in the future because the trauma that they have to deal with that never get resolved, and they end up acting it out later on in life. So when these teachers are put in this type of position of trust, and they violate the children's trust, violate the parents' trust, they need to be punished severely. And not just, oh, we can't name them for legal reasons or whatever. This little girl that just went missing, and now she's been found. I'm pretty sure somebody knew this person, and somebody knew the teacher that you know was responsible for this. So it's no way that they should be saying, oh well, I mean, I understand you gotta go through the court system and you gotta be, presented to a judge and he's gonna be found guilty and all of that. But when these people are found guilty, they need to be punished severely. Not just a slap on the wrist. Something severely so they could deter somebody else from doing it, and they themselves don't repeat that offense, because a lot of them are repeat offenders. They get a little 2 year 4 years here and there, and they repeat the same offense. And it's not just our little girls, it's our little boys too that are getting molested, and nobody's talking about these things. Everybody's just business as usual. Jamaica is a society where it's all about entertainment. Everybody's laugh and giggle, hee hee hee. It's all funny for everybody. So a lot of children out there getting molested.
Big up people on the platform. Right when they don't want to release the perpetrator name, my perpetrator, them are protect You understand? And somewhere or the other, some of them perpetrator have some big connections, you understand? Mm. They not protect a victim. Perpetrator, them are protect. Yeah, man. I don't make my view if it stop where all of them, you see me? Yeah, man.
Good day, my view family. Good day, everyone. Hope everybody all right. My view, bless up your good self. Now, let me just tell you, people. Here in Jamaica, we have a lot of pedophiles and sex offenders. And you know what Jamaica is lacking? A sex offenders registry. So this discussion is warranted. Who are we protecting when we basically facilitate these molesters by not outing them? Who are we protecting but them? Remember, one sex offender is not one, it's one too many. And if we are not aware of these people, how are we going to be able to protect our children, ourselves? I don't care who it is. I am, I will not stand up for any sex offender or anybody who find it okay to be with a child. Who are we protecting? We are protecting the persons who are doing the crime. Who are we protecting? We are protecting the persons who are supposed to make the laws and is found wanting. Who are we are protecting? We are protecting ourselves. Who the lawmakers, the persons who are supposed to make the laws, they are lacking. Them a falter. They, there's a lot to be. There's a lot they're going to ask for. Oh, Jesus, I'm being class. Sorry. One moment, Jahari.
Alright, I don't know if me late on this again because me the busy at work and me just get a break. I don't know if they first and foremost I was saying they took the child from his house. One, the child should not be there. What's the charge? Do they charge him for harboring an underage person at the home, or do they charge him for molestation? If if they do not catch him in the act, they cannot charge him for it unless the investigation commenced. That is why they should not, what do you call it now, publish his name. Supposing then that, okay, we're charging him for harboring a child, but we're holding him and holding his name for investigation to see if he had molested her. We have to wait till other doors. So those are some of the reasons why you don't want to publish his name to damage his character if nothing like that happened. Okay? Because you're gonna publish something against somebody this is not true. Even though all of us know that the little girl should not be there, whether by parents or not. If you are going there, you should have other parents or somebody else there with you. You and them should not be there alone. Okay? So only thing they could charge you for is harboring someone there, an underage girl there without parents' consent, etc. If that's the only charge and they feel that's a good ground, so I touch his name, fine. But other than that, they have to finish other investigations before you formally charge him for everything that you're going to charge him for, and then you publish his name. That's how it is or should be. Child endangerment would be a part of the charges in this case because he's endangering the welfare of a child. And like I say, a lot of these teachers or even pastors as well, where you put in care of children, them abuse them power and them groom these children, promise them things, and molest them, take advantage of them. That is what's happening. A lot of these people that you put in power over children, they use the power and take advantage of the children, and things get out of control rapidly. So this would definitely be a charge of child endangerment, and then you see, like you say, we go from there. Because if he have a child over his house and the child is gone missing, because clearly the child didn't go home, so that's why a missing person report was filed. So if a missing person report was filed and then the child was found in his care, then he is responsible for that child well-being. You know what I mean? You supposed to as an adult make sure this child is home where it's supposed to be, or you contact the person who is responsible for that child to let them know that, listen, the child is here, and then if it's okay for them to stay, you can go from there. But you can't just have somebody's child over your house and then tomorrow or 2 days later you decide that, okay, you can go home now. That's a whole nother charge. It's like kidnapping and all that type of stuff. So endangering the welfare of a child, those charges are gonna be filed against him, and if he is guilty, then I'm pretty sure we'll hear more about it. I heard, and what you said, all that you have said is correct. But the news didn't say he was charged, for such a or whatever. Maybe they are investigating, so you don't release their names until you finish your investigations when you have concrete evidence so that you can publish his name. They don't want to do it under false pretense, if I may use that term. Say that you or me were caught with a young lady at my home, right? And then they arrested me under suspicion, maybe, because the little girl might not say I did involved, or maybe I did, but they would say, okay, then we hold him in. We don't want to say, okay, we charge him for child abuse or child molestation or whatever, and then you investigate it, and it doesn't go like that, because they have to question the girl. They would have to take her to the doctor and to get some doctor's certificate or doctor's response to say yes, the girl was molested and stuff like those. So, release people's name like that. You have to, with the gun case is different. Somebody say you hold a man with a gun. That is not an alleged, because you catch him with the gun. You catch him somebody with the woman does not mean that he assaulted her. Okay, you don't have, that is not an evidence to prove that you have. So probably those are the reasons for the name. Instead of publish, I know someone said earlier that if it was a little corner boy up on the street, they would have published his name, which may be true, because they know that people in society are quick to run to lawyers and quick to sue and stuff, so they hold their peace. Those are the reasons, my bro, I would guess. Yeah, and then the teacher, he's a teacher, so he's somebody in authority that is put to represent a large how do you call it now, demographic of the population. So that's why they wouldn't publish his name as yet. But they say he was arrested and just under investigation with 2 charges. One with this girl, and I didn't see them mention the other charges that he was under investigation for. So it's just crazy, man. We see this thing happen too much. And like I say, I remember specifically one incident such like this happened a few months ago. I think it was in last year, where it was a male student this time in Ucherias. The teacher took this kid to a guest house, and I think the mother was reading the child text messages and was able to follow him, because he left to say he was going to the library, end up in a guest house with a teacher, a male teacher too, a male teacher and a male student, and they didn't release any more information about that. You know what I mean? Which I can only assume they want to protect the identity of the child, and then in return the identity of the predator get protected as well, because if they don't want to release his identity, then nobody's gonna know who the perpetrator was or who the victim was. Only people who are really close to it could identify and say, okay, it was such and such, and then it was this person that did it. So it turned into a complicated situation, because these people are quick to lawyer up, and then when you look, they want to protect the individual, they want to protect the institution that they work with, and all of that. So that's how it gets complicated, and then they try and sweep it under the rug as quick as possible. Yeah, that is called endangering the welfare of a minor. Because nobody knew where the pitney was reported missing. So that is definitely endangering the welfare of a minor. And I'm saying, unfortunately, enough teachers have them look nasty habit there. Them go around and groom people pitney, and friend them up and earn the trust of the pitney them, and then turn around and violate the pitney them. So in that case, boy, I just hope him get the punishment where him deserve, if it's a case where him find guilty, because with Jamaica justice system, we hear them case, and then when you look, it just whole thing just disappear, and hear nothing more about it, and everybody just go and live their merry life like nothing ain't happen. So I could just hope and pray, say, boy, if any crime was committed, then get punished accordingly.